Check, check, check. All right, ready to rock and roll, Carl? You're looking for a way out. You want to go around the back in first? We do. All right. This is Andy Pewell for Boxing News. I'm joined by Carl Frampton over here in Sheffield. Carl, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You're here with Matchroom this week. Obviously, you got Dave Allen versus Makhmudov. When people talk about this fight, Carl, they see it as a bit of a war, fan-friendly fight, but especially those first 4 or 5 rounds, that's where there's real choppy waters for Dave Allen to overcome if he's to have his hand raised. How do you see this fight unfolding?
I think Dave needs to be careful really early on, and then as the fight develops and goes on, get a little bit closer to him. And when he does get close, stay close. Makhmudov is someone who, I think when it's getting tough, I don't think he's the biggest engine in the world. And when things are starting to get tough, he unravels pretty quickly. And that's what Dave will be looking to exploit, I think. But Dave, I was speaking to Jimmy Moore about this, and I think he's absolutely right. Dave is like craftier than people give him credit for in terms of how he fights. And he had to be crafty because he was never fit. And just to manoeuvre his way through fights and get through rounds, he had to have all these kind of tricks of the trade. But he's got that craftiness, but also a big engine now up his sleeve, and that makes him dangerous, Dave. And I think if he's careful early on, doesn't get nailed in the first 3 or 4 rounds, then I think after that it's really his fight to lose.
I know it's obviously the end of your career when you teamed up with Jamie, but did you have any crossover all with Dave? Because I know it's only been the last few fights where they've been together properly, but they had a period previously.
I did a bit, actually. There was a bit where Dave was in the gym for a while. And then I don't know what happened. It was all a bit strange. He was down. He was sometimes in the gym, but then back in Doncaster and stuff. Again, at that stage, I don't know if he was taking it really, really seriously. Just playing with boxing, really. But now it seems like he's... And I think a lot of it's down to Jamie and Nige, you know. Maybe just the influence they've had on him, saying, like, you're wasted talent here and you're a heavyweight and, you know, a lot of people like you. There's a potential for you to make a lot of money. So why not try? You know, maybe I'm wrong there, or maybe he's just made that decision himself, but I know the influence that Jamie and Nigel can have on people and how beneficial that can be, so I imagine it's probably a bit of both.
I heard you ask Frank Smith there at the end of a small talk segment if both of these men would be viable names for a potential Anthony Joshua fight, whoever's successful on Saturday night. In your opinion, Carl, do you think one of these men, if whoever wins, is a good name for Anthony Joshua for his comeback fight?
I think for his comeback fight, yeah. Look what happened in the last fight against Dubois. I think he needs a fight that he feels that he's going to win the fight. I imagine he goes into every fight feeling like he's going to win it, but you know what I mean. He'll be looking at the winner, whoever wins this, Makhmudov or Dave Allen, will be looking at this going, I want Wilder or AJ. Big fights and big money comes with it. Both of them will think they can beat both them guys as well, but if you're AJ, you're probably looking at the winner of this going, you know, I'm a level above them. It's a fight that potentially could make me look good. So that's maybe where his mindset. So I can see the fight happening. That's what I'm trying to say. And you can make an argument for these guys beating someone like AJ even. But I think that both would be underdogs in the fight. But I'm not. Yeah, I like the winner of this fight in AJ. I think it'll be a great fight.
2 fights on the undercard, which is really interesting. Janelle Boston, Fawaz, their rematch, and then Belotti and Josh Padley as well. Josh's first fight down at Super Feather. What do you make of both of them?
I like the Boston and Fawaz rematch. I think it's a really good fight. The first fight was a good fight, great fight to watch. I think the wrong decision was called in the end. I feel like me and the vast majority of people thought that Fawaz done enough to win it. It was announced a draw at the end, but Boston obviously has to be a lot better than he was in the first fight. We'll see what happens. Pressure's on now, and he's been a little bit more subdued in this kind of build-up to this fight than he was the first time, but you expect that because of what happened in the first fight.
How much of an influence do you think Mick Conlan's been on him in that sense?
Maybe. I'd say Mick is someone who's been there, been at a very high level in the sport, faced criticism as well for some of the things he says, so maybe has been a bit of an influence for him, but I think it's important for Boston to have people like Mick Conlan around him and good, credible fighters who can just kind of... He's a kid, you know what I mean? He's still learning. He's probably still immature, probably says things that he maybe regrets or whatever, but I think it's just good to have them kind of common influences around at times.
Away from them, Ben Whittaker signing with Matchroom. What do you make of that move, Carl? And where do you want to see him go? How quickly do you want to see him move now?
Um, I'm not sure how quickly. I mean, he's very, very skilled. Clear. I mean, to win an Olympic silver medal, you have to be unbelievably talented. We've seen it in his fights up to date that he's like a box of tricks. But there's still a few questions for me anyway about what happened in the first Liam Cameron fight, and about his mentality and stuff. If things get tough again, what's going to happen? But I think he's clearly very, very skilled. He's a really, really good fighter. He's linked up with a good coach in Andy Lee. I think the promotional kind of connection that they have with Matchroom was the right one for him. I think there's the company and the fighter are similar, if I can say that, in terms of the nature of them and how big they are and how boisterous they are. So I think it's a good fit. But I don't think he needs to be fast-tracked too quickly. A couple of fights at kind of British, European sort of level, 2 or 3, before he kind of starts reaching out to the big boys.
Some fights on the horizon. We'll quickly get your thoughts on, Carl. Fabio Wardley, Joseph Parker. We're only a matter of weeks away now. An intriguing matchup. How do you see that one going?
It's a really good fight. Big Wardley's always in a fight because he carries the dynamite throughout, and we've seen that again in the Justice Haney win, where he was being comprehensively beaten and then done the business to finish it. So he's dangerous, and he's dangerous the whole way through the fight. But Joe Parker has improved immensely over the last couple of years. His run of form, although he's been inactive for a while, through no fault of his own, not been able to secure fights. That's not good for him. But Joe's the favourite in the fight, the big favourite. But I wouldn't rule big Fabio out. He's a puncher. He's dangerous, and he always has a chance.
Another big fight coming up, Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. Obviously with Devin, there's been a lot of question marks after that Ryan Garcia fight. We saw him against Jose Ramirez where he seemed maybe a little bit cautious, never really wanted to engage with Jose Ramirez, going in there with a puncher like Norman Jr., whose knockout against Jin Sasaki was one which went viral. How dangerous of a task is this for Devin? Who do you think is the favourite going into it?
It's a dangerous fight for Devin Haney. I would have Brian Norman as a favourite, if I'm being honest. I think that just going off our last couple of performances, I haven't been overly impressed by Devin Haney. But he's an amazing fighter, really, really good fighter. And if he can get some of his old form back, then of course he has a chance. But for me, just at this stage, I would say Brian Norman is the favourite, and deservedly so.
Do we see a repeat or revenge, Conor Ben Chris Eubank Jr.?
I say revenge. I think Conor Ben's going to beat Eubank this time. I feel like a fight. The last fight was unbelievable, but fights like that take something out of you. And at Eubank's age, it takes a little bit more out of Eubank than it does out of Ben. I fancy Conor Ben to do it, but I mean then that means he'll do it again. And the money I'm sure the boys have made in the first fight, this fight coming up, and if they do a third one, incredible.
In terms of big money fights, Tank and Jake Paul, Carl, what do you make of that exhibition?
It's all a bit mad, isn't it? Even the face-off, Jake Paul was trying to kind of reduce his height by spreading his legs and stuff to make it look a little bit more equal. But Tank's shorter than me, believe it or not. There's not many shorter than me, but he's actually a little bit shorter than me. You didn't believe that, but it's true. Yeah, he's a little bit, maybe an inch or half an inch or something, but they all count. Yeah, he's I don't know. I'd love to see Tank knock him out because it'd be hilarious and it'd be good for boxing. That Tank's really only. I don't even think he's a lightweight really. I think super featherweight, if he wanted to be, is his weight. Lightweight at the absolute max, and I know he's fought above that, but to be fighting someone like Jake Paul, who is probably a cruiserweight really, it's insane. But I don't think. Look, Jake Paul's obviously a lot bigger on him. I just don't think he doesn't have the ability to knock someone like Tank out. I don't think. Tank, it's going to be very difficult because of the size for him to knock Jake Paul out, but he's a serious puncher. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. And he's definitely going to hit Jake Paul. So it'll be really interesting to see.
I mean, Just to end on a bit more of a sombre note, Carl. Firstly, yesterday we had the horrible news that Arturo Gatti Jr. has passed away. Only 17 years of age. Seemed to be quite a talented young boxer himself. Just a devastating news in a period for boxing.
Yeah, and obviously with Ricky recently as well. It's just very sad. Arturo Gatti Jr. My friend told me about that yesterday actually, and I didn't really know too much about the kid, but I've read up a little bit on him, and obviously with the dad and what happened to the dad before, and the kids obviously had demons. Just it's not nice, nice, never easy. Yeah, and God rest him. Hopefully, you know, the family. I mean, I was going to say hopefully the family are okay. How can it be okay after something like that happens? But you know what I'm trying to say. I hope. Yeah, it's just never easy.
It goes without saying, Carl, obviously everybody's thoughts and condolences are with them and with the Hattons and their family as well. And just on the theme of Ricky, we know we've got the funeral tomorrow, but just what an incredible man and incredible career he had. And from your own personal kind of meetings or dealings with him, what sticks out for you from your time with Ricky?
I just one of the lads. Ricky was the most approachable superstar that I've ever came, and he was a superstar. You look at what Ricky done and the amount of people that he brought to Vegas when he fought Mayweather and Pacquiao. Like, it was incredible number. I think 20,000, or some are saying more than that. That's insane, really. It's absolutely insane. But everybody loved Ricky. He was the people's champion. It's an easy thing to say. It sounds like a bit of a cliche, but he was. I think like the big house that he lived in, it was a big gaff, but it was built in the housing estate. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Like, it's an amazing story. Very, very sad, but Ricky will always be remembered as a hero to so many, as a working class hero. That's who he'll be remembered as. And one of the best British fighters to ever do it. His win against Kostya, maybe the best ever win for a British fighter, certainly in the conversation anyway. And again, another sad moment for boxing.
100%, and just to echo what we said earlier, thoughts and condolences remain with them all. But Carl, I appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your time here in the UK before you head back home. Thanks for speaking to me in Boxing News.
I'm in the UK when I go home, man.
No, I don't know who likes being called UK and not, so I'm trying to be on the safe side. But it's good to see you, Carl.
Cheers, mate.